All right, Shalom. All praise to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Yahweh Bashem Yahushai Barakathum to you, hopefully elect. All right, just out here one more day. Another day in, day out. In the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All right, so Lord willing, you know. Hey, Lord willing, man, to feed and edify the flock of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, because I'll go ahead and start off with this real quick. Two quick precepts to start this off. First, and I brought these precepts out in a lesson that I did earlier this week, or a few days ago, right? But understanding the importance of doing this work, man, all right? You know, because again, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, we're speaking these things into existence, all right? And the more brothers go out on the highways and hedges, the every weekend and week out, the more these videos go up on a daily basis, all right? Hey, that's a piece of Esau's kingdom down the drain, man. You know, and hey, as the scriptures tell us, we're not giving the Heavenly Father any rest, all right? You know, because hey, we want to go home, man. To the true saints, to those that are sighing and crying, all right, to those that are seeking rest, all right, we want to go home, man. Because hey, you know, this ain't it. As the scriptures say, we quote it all the time, this is not our rest, all right? America was just merely a pit stop along the way, all right? And matter of fact, scratch that, let me get this. Get this in Isaiah chapter 51, Isaiah 51 verse 14. The captive exile hasteneth that he may be loosed, and that he should not die in the pit, nor that his bread should fail. You see, because again, the captives are desperately, all right, eagerly, you know, because again, only to those in the right spirit are crying and sighing. Only the saints, the true saints, I should say, as the scriptures tell us, being in the spirit of a mourning, all right? Because as I always pose a question to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians, aren't you tired? You know? And we've been talking about this in the camp, you know, over the past couple of weeks about, you know, when it comes to our people and we tell them this gospel, we tell them this good news, right? The many perks that we're gonna have when it comes to the kingdom, because it was never meant for a so-called Negro, Latino, Native American Indian man to work a day in his life, man. You know, but again, you know, because we touched on this past Saturday as well, on how at one point we had the paradise. At one point we were somewhat at rest, man. You know, and we were like a spoiled children. Everything was handed to us on a silver platter. All right, and that's why it was necessary for us to go through this captivity, because when we're set back up in power and rulership, and we're going to appreciate righteousness that much more. So again, because the fact that America, this is not our rest. This is not our rest. All right, this is not our rest. This is merely a pit stop along the way. You know, and again, Isaiah 51 and 14, the captive exile hasteneth that he may be loose. Because again, we're seeking to be set free. We're seeking to be liberated, man. You see, that's the spirit that we're in, man. We're you know, we see everything that's going on, right? You know, and as I've been saying, because hey, ever since the so-called New Year started, hey, you know, that spirit of anticipation being in the air. Because we believe, man, through the Spirit that, hey, something's going to happen, man. The Lord's going to do something. The Lord's going to do something, man. And every month since this so-called New Year started, hey, it's been something. It's been something. Right? And with that being said, hey, one thing is going to lead to another. All right? You know, I believe that we're seeing the snowball effect, you know, of all hell breaking loose, of seeing America go down, the systematic collapse of this society, right? So on and so forth, man. You know, but we know before we get the kingdom, these things have to come to pass. These things have to take place. All right, such as all hell breaking loose, like I just mentioned with the complete collapse of America, Babylon the Great. These things have to happen. It has to come to pass. So seeing that, hey, you know, like I said, hey, for the most part, because, you know, we're still in the flesh, we're still doing our bullshit, you know, so on and so forth. But hey, rejoice. To you Israelites out there, man, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians, rejoice. You know, because we're almost home, man. We're almost home. But reading on, it says, in that he should not die in the pit. You see? So speaking of this pit, mainly talking about America, all right? You know? Because, hey, what did Yahweh Shai say? There be some of you that shall not taste of death, to roughly paraphrase. Some of you shall not taste of death. So, you know, to some of the elect that are the elect that are here on the earth right now, hey, this is the last time that they're going to be born through they're going to come through the womb of a woman, right? In Salakia. Isaiah 51:14. The captive exile hasteneth, that he may be loosed, and that he shall not die in the pit, nor that his bread shall fall, nor that his bread shall fail. All right. So again, you know, this pit, talking about America, man, because hey, this system was created, it was set up to keep you Israelites on the bottom. All right. Esau, a part of his goals, a part of his agendas is, hey, he's trying to keep us perpetual slaves, man. You know, he's trying to have us as perpetual slaves. You see, but again, this was merely pit stop, man. And hey, we are crying out to Yahweh Shema Shai day and night. Lord, you know, how long? I have to meditate on, because you have the prophets of old, man, posing the million-dollar question, asking the million-dollar question, how long? And more, I understand the fact that, like I said, a lot of our forefathers, the men of old, they asked daring questions that we would dare to ask, right? You know, but we understand why they ask those questions. And we get to a point where we're built up in the spirit, and it's like, Lord, you know, asking the daring questions that we thought we would have never asked. But hey, that's just, like I said, the spirit that we're in the spirit of hastening, you know? You see, because we can't wait to see this place fall. We can't wait to see this place go down, man. You know, and again, because, hey, one thing is going to lead to another, and hey, you know, in no time, we're going to be in the kingdom, man. Looking back on this, you know, not shedding a tear for this not shedding a tear for this place. You know, I often joke about a little inside joke about how, because, you know, these guys over at Sakari, they believe after 1,000 years, you know, then after 1,000 years in the kingdom, where we're pretty much going to go back into sleeper cells or some shit like that, right? Well, little inside joke, because hey, like I said, we're not going to have any remorse over this place. We're not going to shed a tear over this place when this place goes down, all right? And with that being said, because hey, 2/3 when they come back, hey, if they show any signs of remorse for this place, and we're gonna send I'm gonna send their ass over to Sakari, man. Maybe they'll come back after 1,000 years and they'll come back in their right mind. It's just a little inside joke, but the point being, we're not gonna shed a tear over this place, man. The hell with this place. It gets to a point where we can't put up enough curses up on this place, But I'm gonna get this in Revelation 18 and verse 20. Rejoice over her. Now this is going into the destruction of America, all right? Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for the Most High hath avenged you on her. So you see, all right, when the elect are in the chariots getting beamed, when the elect get beamed up in those chariots, all right, they're not going to be looking down as America's getting destroyed. If anything, the elect, the only tears that they're going to shed is the tears of joy. As a matter of fact, the scriptures tell you how they're going to be affrighted, giving praises to Yahweh Shema Shai, man. We're not going to shed a tear over this place, man. But nevertheless, just going back to the point, the topic at hand, I believe I titled this the problem, reaction, solution. All right, because again, beautiful times that we're in. We're seeing the systematic collapse of this wicked kingdom. The Lord is, like I just said here, man. The Lord is avenging His elect. We are seeing Yahweh Shema Shai is strategically, systematically bringing down Esau, Edom, and his kingdom from within. And every time Yahweh Shai shows up, He's just going to deliver the ultimate blow. Because America at this point is on her knees, man. America's on its knees. And Esau knows this. Esau, he sees this, all right? And this is why it's going to get to a point where, because Esau, he's going to do everything in his power to hang on to his kingdom. He's going to do all that he can, or all that the Lord allows him to do, to hang on to his kingdom, to this kingdom, man. You see? But again, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai, hey, we're speaking these words into existence. We're speaking the judgment of Yahweh Shema Shai into existence, man. Going back to it, in Isaiah 19 and 1, the burden of Egypt. Behold, the Lord rideth upon the swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. All right, now ultimately, this is going into America's destruction. All right, because America is known as spiritual Sodom in Egypt, spiritual Sodom in Egypt. All right, America is spiritual Egypt. All right, because hey, just like Egypt, ancient Egypt, when the children of Israel were in captivity, and that's why America is spiritually called Egypt, because there's really no other captivity that the Israelites were in that was more laborious or rigorous. There's really no other captivity that the Israelites caught more hell in, all right, that could compare to America other than Egypt, ancient Egypt. You see? And just like ancient Egypt, right, where the nation of Israel cried out to the Heavenly Father, man. You see, because that's what all the hell, that's what all this oppression, that's what it does, man. It keeps us in a state of you see, there's like I quoted, the scriptures talk about being in the house of mourning, right? You may look at it like a bad thing, but no, it keeps you in that state of mind of wanting to be delivered, wanting to be liberated, wanting salvation. So it's a good thing, because one thing, we can't get comfortable here. We cannot get comfortable in captivity. Like 2/3 of our people, they have gotten comfortable in captivity. All right, well, hey, if you're of the elect, Yahweh Shema Shai is going to make sure He keeps the fire lit under your feet, man. to where you're always, always on your toes. The Lord's going to keep you on your toes, man. So, all the hell, the tribulations, the trials that we go through, hey, the Lord knows what he's doing, man. And that's for our best interest at heart. The Lord knows what he's doing. Because we cannot get comfortable here in captivity. All right? But going back to it in Isaiah 19, just to read the point one more time, because it said the burden of Egypt. Now, like I said, ultimately this is going into the complete destruction of America, which is spiritual Egypt. All right? When Yahushua comes with the massive chariot and all the other chariots and the angels and the destruction that's going to take place. All right, but even before that, like the scriptures tell us, hey, Yahushua is coming to send fire on earth, but what will I, if I already, matter of fact, let me get it. Because this place is already going to be up in flames, All hell is already going to be breaking loose by the time Yahushua comes, and that's why I said, Yahushua, America's already on his knees, right? And by the time Yahushua comes, hey, he's just coming to deliver the knockout blow, the devastating, uppercut, Mike Tyson uppercut, right? So I'm gonna get this in Luke. Salakia, wrong chapter, wrong book. Hey, to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians, man, we got a lot to look forward to, Again, I'm gonna probably keep saying it, but America was just nothing but a pit stop along the way. All right? It was nothing but a pit stop. This is a necessary evil that we had to experience, that we had to witness. All right? But this is not the end-all be-all. And we can't stress out enough to our people. To our people. All right? Because by default, it was set up for the Israelites. All right, the kingdom of Yahweh Shemel Shai, by default, it was set up for the Israelites. It's for the Israelites. All right. So Luke chapter 12, verse 49, I am come to send fire on the earth. All right, so again, Yahushua is coming with fire of his own, right? The fire from those missiles, the ICBM missiles, right? As well as the angels, they're going to be issuing out fire, shooting laser beams and stuff like that, right? It says, and what will I if it be already kindled? So you see, because all hell is going to be breaking loose out here. By the time Yahushua comes, he's just coming to deliver the ultimate blow, the knockout blow, the Mike Tyson uppercut. All right, that's the point being that, hey, all hell is already going to be breaking loose out here, man. And we're seeing the events leading up to this because, hey, as the scriptures tell us, the deceived and the deceiver belong to the Lord. You see, because Esau, going back to the title at hand, the problem, reaction, solution. All right. The Lord is allowing him to create this this situation to where it's going to be so dire and desperate. It's no coincidence over the past years. You got I'm not even going to mention any names, but certain guys buying up farmlands and all these food processing plants being destroyed and everything that's been going on over these past years, right? More and more, Esau, he's taking control of the resources because this man is he's greedy, man. Here it is, the Heavenly Father gave him the fatness of the earth. He has it all anyway. He has it all already. But what's his end game? What's his end goal? Go back to Revelation. Because this is what, again, one thing's going to lead to another. And the end game for Esau is having everyone, seed up. All right? Revelation 13, 16, and 17, man. That's the end game for Esau Edom. Because again, he wants to create the situation, an environment where it's so desperate, people are so desperate. All right, he's going to come with his solution, and it's going to come in the form of that MOTB. So again, it's no coincidence why we're seeing all these, you know, with the supply chain crisis, them holding off all those cargo ships, and like I said, man, from the farmlands, and you know, so on and so forth, right? You know, he's with all the deforestation, right? Cutting down all the you know, basically cutting down the wilderness, and you know, making all these apartment complexes and gas stations, right? Because he's trying to get everyone. He's basically trying to force everyone into a controlled environment to where he can, you know. Because again, for Esau Edom, it's about total control. That's what it's about for Esau Edom, the so-called white man. It's about complete control. And that's why I wanted to get this in Revelation 18. Revelation 18 and 13. And set him in odors and ointments and frankincense and wine and oil and fine flour and wheat and beasts and sheep and horses and chariots and slaves. Like I said, this system was mainly set up, created for you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians to be perpetual slaves. All right, perpetual slaves, man. You know, you see, man. And you may look at the few exceptions to the rules, like the LeBron Jameses and the Jay-Z's, and think that we're winning as a people, right? Think that we're winning as a people, right? But hey, they're just higher paid slaves, man. You know, they're just higher paid slaves. You know, but it said in slaves and souls of men. So this is what the end game for Esau Edom. All right, he's trying to take over our spirit. All right, he's trying to rule over our soul, man. And hey, the ultimate form of what they call selling your soul to the devil is going to come in the form of that MOTB. That's what this is all about. Because eventually, like I said, you know, when things get so hectic, when things get so chaotic out here, and especially being with these Americans, they're the most, they live off of comfort. Everything is inconvenience for them, you know? You see? And once you take away that which is comfort, once you take away these people's comforts, man, they're gonna lose it. They're gonna be like a spoiled child. They're gonna act out like a spoiled child, man. Catch tantrum. You know, these Americans, they're the most spoiled, most, you know, proud. You know, hell, even the scriptures talk about how you got these European Edomites, these Russian Edomites. All right, you know how they look down and they despise these American Edomites because of their proud, because of their pride. You know, these American Edomites, man, boy, you can't tell these people nothing. But you're spiritual because, matter of fact, going back to it, in Isaiah 19, and that's going to be a field slave. Whenever I see Edomites running up and down the street, hey, that's going to be a field slave. Because ain't no Edomite going to be within the palaces, man. They're going to be outside. Them and Ham. But going back to Isaiah 19 and 2, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. Because, hey, matter of fact, going back to Luke chapter 12, because Yahweh Shema Shai, as a matter of fact, Salakia, let me go to this, in Isaiah. Isaiah 42. Isaiah 42 and 13. The Lord shall go forth as a mighty man. He shall stir up jealousy like a man of war. He shall cry, yea, roar. He shall prevail against his enemies. So the point being that Yahweh Shema Shai, is the one that's stirring all this up, man. He's the one that's stirring the pot. He's the one, because how's the saying go? Well, I'm gonna just roughly paraphrase this quote or this saying. You can look it up for your own, but basically, you got the in a jar, right? You got the red ants, and then you got the black ants, right? All contained within this jar, and they're just, you know, minding their business, doing what they do, right? You know, but the minute you shake up that jar, hey, the ants are gonna attack each other, man. They're gonna attack one another. You know, because hey, this man, you know, this one thing, it was because of that one is attacking this one, and you know, wait, in essence, that's what the Heavenly Father is doing. He's shaking up the jar. He's stirring up the pot. All right, and he's using Esau to do so, because again, the problem, reaction, solution. Esau, he creates the problem to get the people to react a certain way. The scriptures tell us how Esau, Edom, he searches these things out, man. Esau doesn't sleep without plotting some type of wickedness. He wakes up plotting wickedness. So Esau, he searches these things out diligently. All right. So Yahweh Shema Shai has the spirit on Esau, Edom, to where, again, he's causing the problem. Going back to what I said, all right, he's going to have it to where things are so desperate, and people are going to become so desperate to where they're going to react, right? And they're going to look for the solution. Well, hey, Esau, he's going to present himself as the Most High, and he's going to come with that solution. And for Esau, the end game is going to be that MOTB. All right, so this is where we see all these events. One thing is going to lead to another. All right, because, you know, what was I going to get? Oh, go back to Luke. Because I read that in Isaiah 42 to show that Yahweh Shema Shah, ultimately, he's the mastermind. He's the one that's starting all this up, right? Going back to Luke chapter 12, for people that think that we're in a time of coming together and singing kumbayas and all, man, right? Isaiah 42, Luke 12. And verse 51, suppose ye that I am come to give peace on earth. I tell you nay, but rather division. So there it is. All right. You know, we are in a time of war. We're in a time of great division. All right. And this is what Yahweh Shema Shah, this is what he's stirring up, because going back to Isaiah 12 now, Isaiah 19 and verse 2, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his neighbor, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. And we see that from a you know, on a low level to an intermediate level to a high level. All right, you know, because hey, you got states, man. Some states they're with the whole abortion thing. Some states aren't. Right. So hey, you're gonna have people from check this out, right? People from these different states that are, you know, trying to get abortions, go to these states that allow abortions, right? You know, go through with their act, and then go back to their you know, home state and possibly get prosecuted. You see, that's division. You know, that's division. You got certain states that are trying to succeed from Babylon and become their own entity, their own separate entity, right? And hell, check this out. You got counties within certain states trying to succeed from the state and become their, you know, become its own thing. That's division. All right, that's a divide. You know, and like I said, you have there's levels to it. You know, you got because this whole kingdom is divided against itself, man. You know, you got the whole red versus blue, right? You know, but to speak on this real quick, because hey, and I believe because they're keeping this guy Trump around for a reason, man. I believe they're keeping him around for a reason because you know, the talk of civil war, every now and then it'll pop up, and then, you know, the topic will die down, and then it'll pop back up. Well, hey, the topic of civil war, it's popped back up again because of this whole talk with Trump possibly getting arrested. And what's this guy calling for? He's calling for people to protest, to take the nation back. You know, you see, because whether people want to believe it or not, hey, a civil war is going to take place here in America very soon. All right, very soon. Very soon, man. You know, and he's getting ready. He's girding up because, hey, a lot of you Israelites, man, are going to end up being casualties of war. A lot of you Israelites are going to end up being a casualty of war because, hey, a lot of you Israelites, these Edomites, these patriotic Edomites, they're going to take their frustrations out on you Israelites, man. Because, hey, all these so-called illegal immigrants coming over here, getting free health care, right? You know, and all this talk of, you know, hospitals being overwhelmed and, you know, because there's another silent, I'm not going to say epidemic, but there's definitely a type of a crisis when it comes to the healthcare system. All right. You know, like I said, I'm not going to say an epidemic, but this is something that, you know, is definitely there for the most part, sweeping under the rug. You know, they're not really talking about it on the mainstream media, but there's a crisis within the healthcare system. The healthcare system is collapsing. You know, people can't get their meds and stuff like that, right? But here it is, they're allowing all these so-called illegal immigrants to come over here to get free health care, you know, allowing them to, you know, stay in these hotels for free, stuff like that. Way, this pissing a lot of these Edomites off. You know, it's pissing a lot of these Edomites off, man. So again, who do you think they're gonna take their frustrations out on? You Israelites. You see? You see, man? Hey, I'd say, hey, to the saints, man, hey, sit back, get your, spiritually speaking, get your popcorn, sit back and enjoy the show because the pot is boiling. And this thing is getting ready to spill over. You know, it's getting ready to spill over. You know, but nevertheless, again, because Yahweh Shemel Shai is allowing Esau Edom to do these things. He's allowing Esau Edom to create the problem so the people can react a certain way, so that way it justifies him in bringing in the martial law. All right? Because, hey, how does the saying go? When people have nothing to lose, they lose it. And that's what's getting ready to happen. You can see it in the look on these faces of these people, man. They're getting ready to lose their shit. The tension is at an all-time high. You know? That's why the scriptures tell us to be circumspect, man, because, hey, shit's about to get crazy out here. It's about to get crazy. You know? It's about to go down out here, and we can't wait. Because, again, like I was saying earlier, hey, these Americans, they're the most proud. Can't tell them nothing. Most spoon-fed. All right? But once all that comfort gets taken away from them, hey, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to lash out. They're gonna catch a pussy fit, man. A tantrum. They're going to throw a tantrum. You know? You see, man? And hey, that's a part of the systematic collapse of America, man. You know? Because, hey, this financial crunch that's going on right now with these banks, right? Hey, through the spirit, man, hey, Lord willing, you know? This being the hopeful year that all these prophecies come to pass, hey, Lord willing. Because with the collapse of these banks, all right, what are they doing? Printing more money out of thin air to bail these banks out, right? And hey, like I said, Lord willing, we're going to possibly see, and that's not even to talk about how they are, sending more billions of dollars in aid to Ukraine, right? And who do you think is paying for that? Who do you think is paying for that? You see? Oh, yeah. But them print more money out of thin air to build these banks out, that could lead to a whole new wave of inflation and Lord willing hyperinflation, man. Lord willing. Lord willing, man, we're gonna see a whole new wave of inflation. You know, because hey, with that being said, you know, I was reading on, I'm still looking into it, but something called let's see if I can look it up real quick. I was looking into something, damn, I forgot what it's called. But basically, all right, you know, people won't be able to access the money from the ATMs. You know, you won't be able to use credit cards or anything like that. You know, pretty much it's going to get to a point where you can only use cash. But that's if, you know, the it's not to a point where the dollar is so worthless, it's so useless. Because I always say this, when the time comes, the time is going to come when the only thing those federal notes are going to be used for, talking about the actual physical so-called paper money, I always say it's going to be good for two things: wiping your ass and fuel for fire. That's going to be the only thing that's going to be worth. Because again, the dollar is going to be so inflated. It's going to be so devalued. And I was just telling my people this, you know, and this is spiritual to me. I'll just say this because, you know, they have been, you know, when it comes to certain family members or whatnot, you know, it's been set up to where, you know, been seeing certain family members, relatives, they've been coming to town and whatnot, you know, hey, as far as on this side, this may be the last time I get to see him again. You know, this could be the last time, man, as far as on this side. Because, hey, again, Lord willing, hey, the Lord's wrapping this thing up, man. Lord willing, he's about to wrap this up, you know. But like I was saying, because I was just telling my people this over the weeks on how, because going back to 2020, when they started giving out all these bailouts, because that's what it is, even with the banks and them getting all these billions of dollars to bail them out. That's what it is. It's a bailout. And that's what we seen back in 2020, 2021, when they were giving all these bailouts, these stimulus checks, printing this money out of thin air. I told them this back in 2020, 2021, that, hey, I don't know what's going to happen, but soon you're going to have inflation, right? The price of everything is going to go up. Everything that we're seeing now, right? You know, and they were like, yeah, you were right. You know, you were right. Well, hey, the writing is on the wall. The writing is on the wall. And hey, you know, we're still telling you people, while it is, the scriptures say, while it is yet day, right? While everything is, for the most part, still, you know, you're still able to go out and about and, you know, the society is somewhat intact. All right, hey, man, you know, get your shit together, man. You know, because, hey, with the collapse of these banks, man, hey, the scriptures talk about how the Lord, he sends the scourges for an amendment. Those scourges, man, the warning shots, you know, it's just like that. Just like that. Just like it did, just like the Lord did back in 2020, right? Before the lockdowns and, you know, when all the lockdowns and shutdowns took place, right? Everybody thought it was just all good, right? And then out of nowhere, lockdowns, shutdowns, curfews, right? You know, hey, the Lord, he, you know, soon the warnings are going to stop, because with the collapse of these banks, man, that was more scourges, more warning shots. The Lord letting us know that, hey, just showing us how quickly this thing can pop off, man. Showing us how quickly the Lord could just, you know, shut this shit up, shut this shit down. The Lord showed us once again with the collapses of these banks, man. You know, because going back to it before I forget what I was looking into, because when the money becomes so devalued, all right, when it becomes so worthless, hey, we're gonna go back to a bartering system. You know, We're gonna go back to a bartering system, you know. Because what are you gonna do when you can't access your money, when you can't take money off your ATM, when you know, when the banks close, and what are you gonna do then, right? Credit freezes. So I was looking into this, going into like credit freezes and so yeah, you know, when you go into these credit freezes, right? And basically, so yeah, like credit freezes, credit locks. You know, the spirit had to where, you know, I looked into that, and again, because basically the time's gonna come, you're not gonna be able to use your debit cards, your credit cards, or anything like that. You're not gonna be able to access money, right? You know, which, you know, the so-called money that you have, what's on screen, it's not really there. All right, it's not really there anyways. That's why you have the collapse of these banks, because everyone's trying to access their you know, just because you have $400,000 in the bank, that doesn't mean it's there. Just because it's there on you know, on the screen, doesn't mean that you can just go to the bank and you know, take all that money out. No, that's not how this works. That's not how it works. Another thing I was talking to my people about, hey, the fractional reserving, man, where they're only liable to hold up a certain amount. I believe it's 10%. You know, you see, because again, just because you have $1 million in the bank, that doesn't mean you can just go to the bank and take out $1 million. No, man. Well, this is why these banks collapse, because everyone's trying to rush and take out their money, thinking that they have $400,000, $500,000 in the bank. No, man. And you see, that's where we get this type of crisis, where everyone thinks that they have what they see on screen versus what the bank actually holds, and they're trying to take all that out. Right? Well, like I said, this is why I was the spirit had it to where I was looking into these credit locks and these credit freezes, right? Because with events like that, where, you know, situations like that where everyone's trying to rush to the banks to take all their money out, well, they might just have to shut the whole shit down, and your bank's closed, and, you know, hey, what do you think that's going to cause? What do you think that's going to create, man? You know, because hey, for the longest, you know, I know myself, I know brothers, because it's just like, here it is out there in France, man. You got protests because of the pension reforms. They're tearing shit up over there, man. You know, so it's like, what is it going to take for these simple Americans, these simple Babylonians? What is it going to take for them to get roused up and start tearing shit up? And I'm not talking about the you know, the whole J6 thing. That thing, we know that was an inside job. We know that was a front. It's like, what is it going to take to really set these Americans off? All right, and really have them tearing shit up out here. What is it going to take? Well, hey, this could be the straw to break the camel's back. The fact that people can't access their money. All right, because like the scriptures tell us, money is a defense. You know, as of right now, like I said, we're as far as buying and selling. All right, as far as the bartering system right now. All right, you got that fiat currency, the fake money. All right. Well, what are you going to do when you're not able to access your fiat currency? All right, you can't take money out the ATMs. What are you gonna do then? You see, and that might be the straw to break the camel's back. That's where we might really see people tear shit up, man. Seditions, right? You know, people tearing shit up out here, man. You know, hey, Lord willing, Lord willing. All right. You know, that's why I said, hey, get your popcorn ready. Spiritually speaking, get your popcorn ready and enjoy the show. You know, because hey, Esau, he's going to create the problem to get the people to react a certain way. That way he brings us his solution. All right. Because going back to what I was saying earlier with the whole supply chain crisis, right? Buying up the farmlands and stuff like that. more and more, they're trying to get everyone that has land and field and stuff everyone in the cities like sardines, man. And what has been the new talk? Another thing that they're not really speaking about on the mainstream media. Another thing that they're talking about is these 15-minute cities, right? 15-minute cities, man. You see, it's already happening in China, places like China. All right, and you already have certain places here in America considering this. With people's movement being limited, right? And what's another thing that they've been talking about over the years are these smart cities. Why? Because in order to be able to, as the scriptures tell us, man, as the prophecy tells us, in order to buy and sell, in order to be an active member in society, all right, in order to move around freely. And hey, we got a small glimpse of this back in 2020, 2021, right? Going back to the, with the curfews and things of that nature, right? I'm gonna go to this in Revelation 13. Bear with me real quick. Because when you read Revelation 13, Revelation 13, so Revelation 13 and 15. Revelation 13 and 15. And he had the power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as will not worship the image of the beast should be killed, right? And when you go into that, when it talks about those not worshiping the image of the beast being killed, it's talking about it goes into being X'd out of society. You won't be a functioning member in society. You see, the ability to move around freely. You won't be a participating member in society. That's why in those days, man, it's gonna, as the scriptures tell us, the just shall live by faith. Because, hey, asking the question, what are you gonna do when you can't access your money in the bank? You can't take care of your family. You can't buy groceries. To the unbelievers, but hey, that applies to us, to the hopeful elect as well, because hey, quite frankly, and you can't make this shit up, you had these Amalekites walk by, but that applies to us too, the hopeful elect, because quite frankly, hey, we don't know what we're gonna do. We don't know the outcome. Well, that's the beauty of having faith. Because hey, Yahweh Shema Shah, he's going to provide for his elect somehow, some way. It's not for us to know the details. We'll know when it plays out. Lord willing, the Lord is on our side, man. All right. Because again, the time is going to come when you won't be able to go out freely. All right, and just what's America's mottos? Do as thou wilt. No, man, that time is coming to an end. All right. Soon we're going to see martial law out here in the streets. All right, everything's going to be locked down, closed down. All right, that's going to be a field slave. All right, a Shedemite at that. But everything's going to be locked down, shut down. And listen, the middle class, right? Because that's another one of Esau. That's another one of his agendas. You're going to fall into one of two categories, man. The rich or the poor. As a matter of fact, when you read on, it says, verse 16. And he calls it all. both small and great, rich and poor. And you see, that's another thing, right? The rich are going to get richer, the poor are going to get poor. You know, there's not going to be no middle class. There's not going to be no in between. And the more with these bank collapses, the more these banks collapse, all right, you know, the more this society collapse. Hey, again, if you're in that in between right now, if you're in the so-called middle class right now, you're either going to fall, you're either going to get rich, or you're going to fall into the category of the poor. You see, that's another plot twist with Esau, man, doing away with completely the middle class. And like I said, the middle class was damn nearly eradicated with the first lockdowns, the first set of lockdowns and shutdowns. Well, hey, you know, because if there's another lockdown, man, hey, I don't believe America's going to make it. Because again, just look at what the first set of lockdowns did, man. You know, if America goes back on lockdown, I don't think America's going to make it. This might, again, be the straw to break the camel's back. Because America's society, America's economy is as fragile as it is, man. You know, I love to bring this precept out. Love to bring this precept out concerning America and its economy. In Ecclesiastes 12, matter of fact, I started verse 1. The point is in verse 5, but I started verse 1. Remember now thy Creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. Because you see, again, once the Yahweh Shema Shah pulls the plug, once he says enough is enough, that's it. And I always talk about Jake and their bad habit of procrastination. Jake loves to do things at the very last second. And for the most part, because the Lord is merciful, you know, a lot of times we do things at the last second, we repent at the last second or whatever, you know, and the Lord, he'll be with us, he'll deliver us. But this go around, no. Once the Lord says enough is enough, that's it. All the jakes that try to come around at the last second when it's too late, that's it, man. You're supposed to seek Yahweh Shema Shai now while you can in our youth, you know. You try to get right while you're on your deathbed, right? You don't live the whole life of wickedness. Now you're on your deathbed and you want to get right. No, man, it's too late. It's too late. You had all your youth, and you know, quite frankly, that's why, hey, a lot of times the Lord, he calls us in our youth, which, you know, most of us are still young, but hey, you know, the Lord, he calls us when we're in our youth. You know, we're more able-bodied, we have more to sacrifice. You know, it's a greater sacrifice when we're in our youth, because hey, we, you know, Friday nights, Saturday nights, when it's time to club, party, hardy, hey, that's what we could be doing. But hey, you know, we're doing this, man. Brothers is out there on the highways and hedges. You see, so it's a more of a sacrifice, man. You know, but don't try to seek Yahweh Shema Shah when it's too late. Because hey, again, if you're paying attention, the Lord, again, he's letting us know that he's getting ready to wrap this up, man. This thing is getting ready to come to a close. So don't be one of those. Hey, the brother in the hall here talks about this, man, and you know, and it stuck with me, man. Because hey, that feeling of regret, you know, because hey, when you have that feeling of regret, you know, hey, it's too late. That feeling of I could have done better, you know, but I didn't. Hey, by this, it's too late. Once you have that feeling of regret, it's too late. Don't let that be your case, man. You know, don't let that be your situation. That's a horrible. Knowing you could have did something, you know, because that's all the Lord requires of us at the end of the day, man. He requires us just to put our best foot forward, in sincerity and in truth. That's what the Lord. That's all He asks for. You know. All we got to do, just like you read about our forefathers, man. When it came time to battle, right? What did the Lord say? All we had to do was just show up. The Lord will take care of the rest. And that's how it is now. All we got to do is just show up. The Lord, He'll take care of the 99%, man. You know, all we just got to do is show up and put forth our best foot forward, man. Put forth our best foot, right? But again, reading on in verse 2, it says, while the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain. Because, hey, you know, when this time comes and it's this total anarchy, as I quoted, all right, while it is yet day, right? You know, while the society is still somewhat intact, right? Still put together, right? While everything is somewhat good, right? It says, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and this is what we're seeing from all these economists, all right, these so-called experts, right? Hey, they're shaking in their boots, man, because they see where America's economy is going, right? They see where this place is going. Now, water to Yahweh Shemel Shai, because they can't put the pieces together, you know, and that's the job of the prophets, right? Because I remember a couple of years ago, man, you know, when the Apostle Tahar talked about how brothers should get into economics, man, and things of that nature, you know, get into economics and stuff like that, man, you know, because, hey, like I said, through the Spirit, we're able to connect the dots. We're able to put the pieces together, man. You know, because Jake don't know nothing about economics or you know, the stock market or anything like that, man. Jake don't know nothing about this stuff. You know, but again, through the Spirit, we're able to look at these things, these different news articles and whatnot, and put the pieces together. We're able to connect the dots. Because, hey, you know, going back to these bank collapses, man. Hey, that's going to have a huge cascading effect. Because it's not going to be just America, you know, and that's another thing. Because, hey, which is going to lead to even more hyperinflation. The fact that you got more and more countries, doing away with the dollar, steering away from the dollar. You just had one, I think it was Indonesia, if I'm not mistaken, basically encourage its citizens to not deal with the dollar, and I think it was Indonesia. But as far as like the world economies, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's Indonesia. I think they're like one of the top 10, within the top 10, as far as the economy goes. They're one of the top 10 in the world. You know, and the fact that you got all these countries more and more doing away with the dollar, right? You know, hey, like I said, this is going to get nasty, man. This is going to get ugly, because again, the day is going to come when, you know, overnight something's going to happen. Overnight, you're going to wake up and you're going to be paying $100 for a gallon of milk. $100 for a loaf of bread, man. You know, that's that hyperinflation. You know, you see, man, because like I said, with the collapse of these banks, man, it's not going to be just America. All right, we're going to see banks around the world. A lot of countries. The fact that America is still the world reserve currency right now. All right, a lot of the nations depend on that dollar. Right. You know, hey, it's because of this dollar. This is why we see a lot of these nations going bankrupt and, you know, asking for bailouts, asking for help. Because what we're seeing here, it's already happening in other countries, man. I've touched on Sri Lanka. All right, Venezuela. I just saw that their inflation just hit like 100% or 200% or something like that. I think Turkey, all these countries, man. You know, where they can't afford anything, and they're asking for bailouts. They're asking for more money. You know, because hey, this is going to be a systematic collapse of the world, man. Not just America, the world. You see? And what's going to be the new reserve currency, so to say, is going to be that MOTB. All right, that's going to be the new world reserve currency, man. All right, everyone outside of the elect is going to end up taking that MOTB. All right, not just Americans, the world, everyone outside of the elect. You see? Because again, Esau, he's going to create the problem. And we're seeing that, like I just mentioned, these countries, their banks are, their countries are falling. They're failing. The governments are failing. All right. This is why more and more, this is a part of why we're seeing these protests and uproars of the people. Because like I said, if you got other places, it's not as bad as it is here in America, right? But yet they're still protesting and uproaring. That's why I said earlier, like, what is it going to take for these people to wake up, smell the roses, and light this place on fire, man? What is it going to take? Because it's not as nearly as bad as it is in some places as what's going on here in America. But yet, hey, these people, man, because they're not so docile, they're not so dumbed down, they're not so stupid. All right, they know that, hey, something's wrong, and they're not having it. So, going back to what I said earlier, hey, what's it going to take for these Americans? What's it going to take for these simple Babylonians? Because again, like I said, Esau is creating a problem, and he's going to cause everyone. That's why I read in Revelation 13, man, and he calls it all, right? Because hey, he's setting it up to where everyone's going to be forced to partake in this new system that we are currently seeing being set up right before our very eyes. Go back to what I read in Revelation 13, man. The beast, right? Power given to the beast. Hey, the beast is speaking more and more, man. Hey, this beast is screaming louder and louder. Louder and louder, man. Right before our very eyes. We're seeing this beast system being set up, and everyone's being forced to partake in this system. Everyone's going to be forced to partake in this system. The only difference when it comes to those of us, the hopefully elect, and everyone else is going to be our faith. That's going to be the only difference is our faith, right? Because hey, you don't want to bow down and worship this image or worship this beast, then hey, you won't be able to buy and sell, as the prophecy says. You won't be able to and this is what Esau, he's attacking. He's attacking everyone's ability to live. It's getting harder to live. Esau, he's strategically setting this up, man, so that people can react a certain way. And that way, hey, people, they look for the solution. It's going to come in the form of, ultimately, that MOTB. All right, everyone's going to have to take that MOTB, all right, and worship Esau as the Most High. Again, that's what it's all about, man. He's power. Esau, he's power hungry. He's power driven. All right, it's all about control, complete control. You see? But going back to Ecclesiastes 12:3. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders call, and the grinders cease because they are few, right? Because, hey, more and more jobs are being destroyed, taken away, right? That's another sign of this economy going to shit. All right, more job losses. All right, it says, and those that look out of the windows be darkened, and the doors shall be shut up in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. See, because hey, the time's going to come when it's just going to be total chaos, and because like I said, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, because hey, when America's economy shuts down, man, right? What do you hear now? You hear cars going by, you hear the planes in the sky, right? You hear the music in the background playing, stuff like that. But when all this gets done away with, hey, nature's going to take its course, all right? Grass is going to be overgrown. All you're going to hear is nature. You know, and again, we got a small glimpse of that back in 2020, 2021. I don't know about you, but I loved it. You know, I loved it. Because these people, they driving by, blowing their horns for no reason, right? You know, hey, I love back in 2020, 2021. I loved it, man. When it was quiet, you go outside, you know, you can hear an ant calling, man. Nature. You know, well, that's how it's going to be. All right, you're going to hear the birds. You're going to hear nature, wildlife. You see, man? But in verse 5, it says, this is the point. Also, when they shall be afraid of that which is high, and fear shall be in the way, and the almond tree shall flourish. Because, hey, the almond tree, you know, like I said, everything that we've been talking about, starting from our apostles and elders, on all the men on down, as far as these prophecies, right? You know, hey, we're going to be living it. There's going to come a time where, hey, we're not going to be talking about it. We're going to be living it. So as far as the almond tree flourishing, let's talk about these prophecies coming to pass, man. You know, like I said, everything that we've been talking about, start from the top. All right? It's going to be a reality. All right? These prophecies are going to be popping, man. It's going to be in full effect. It says, and the grasshopper shall be a burden. So that was the point, all right? A grasshopper being a burden. I love to bring this precept out when it comes to how fragile America's economy is, because something as a grasshopper, something small and insignificant as a grasshopper being a burden, you know, because I always make this statement and link it to this verse. We're one not so major event away from just all hell breaking loose and just America just really going to shit. That's how fragile America's economy is, man. Where any little thing can really, you know, just shut this thing down, man. Can really just cause America's economy to crash. Any insignificant, any small thing. And then check this out, because I did a video on this, on how, you know, like when it comes to, because they want to censor, they want to have more regulations on the internet, all right, because the fact that word got out why these banks collapsed, right, and why everyone went to these, you know, banks to try to pull out, you know, take their money out and whatnot, right, you know, it's because word got out, right, behind the scenes, right, word had got out, all right, and that caused basically this panic and everyone rushing to these, to these banks to try to get their money out, right? You see, so now they're talking about censorship to prevent these bank runs. Now they want to censorship, more censorship. They want to tighten down more, you know, which we know, as we should know, Amos 8 and 11, right? We saw a glimpse of that back in 2020, 2021, 2022, when all this information about that jump shot was coming out, right? You see, brothers were bringing out information, you know, as far as those jump shots, and hey, you know, it was a crackdown on all so-called freedom of speech. Well, Lord willing, again, we're about to see even tighter crackdown on so-called freedom of speech, right? But that was an example of, like I said, the grasshopper being a burden. Because again, word got out via social media, such and such, and it caused this panic, and it caused these people to rush to their banks to try to take out this money, right? That was an example of a grasshopper being a burden. Something insignificant, like a tweet going out. All right? Something so insignificant like a tweet going out that caused all this panic. You see? That's an example of a grasshopper being a burden, man. Right? But it says, and desire shall fail, because man goes to his long home, and the mourners go about the streets. But nevertheless, that was the point. It's showing how fragile America's economy is, how fragile the system, and hey, The fact that you had these banks collapse, that should be another tall tale sign. The how frail America's banking system is, how frail America's financial system is, man. You know, that was a tall tale sign on how frail America's system is, man. You know, I saw the comment board earlier. I'm just see if anyone posted any precepts. Right, Shalom, Yahbashim Shabarakathum, to all you Akim Nakwath on the comment board. All right, but yeah, man, Esau, ultimately his end game is the MOTB. You know, creating a problem so that people can react a certain way, and it's going to cause everyone to go to him for the resources. Like I mentioned earlier, that's what all this buying up these farmlands and so on and so forth. It's all been the stage being set for Esau to cut off the resources. All right, so that everyone, when the shit hits the fan, everyone has to go to him. All right, everyone has to go to him. You see, it needed one of all things, man. But it's gonna come by way of that MOTB. All right, because hey, again, if you don't take it, then you won't be able to buy and sell. You won't be able to do anything. You're gonna have to be off grid, live off grid. And like I said earlier, hey, these Americans, they don't know what that's like, man. Like in a lot of these countries, hey, all they know is wartime, man. It's war riddance. You know. For the most part, these other countries, all they know is most of those people in these other countries, man, they're survivalists, man. They just, you know, they wake up, there's bombs going off, you know, go to sleep, there's bombs going off. It's just war riddance, man. That's all these people know. Versus here in America, hey, you know, you got contests, hot dog eating contests, man. And these people, they're gluttonous. The overindulge, right? And that's another reason why a lot of these countries, man, more and more, they're hating America more and more, because what's taken for granted over here, hey, you know, they're over there looking at America's, you know, just hot dog eating contest, man. You know, just being gluttonous, you know, because hey, like I said, man, when it comes over here to America, hey, and all these people, their comforts get taken away, right? These people, they're not going to know what to do. They're not going to know how to act, right? But I'm going to go to this Psalm chapter 10, because as I mentioned earlier, as I read earlier, man, you're going to fall into one of two categories, either the rich or the poor. And you see Esau, he's going to take advantage of that poor. You're the rich, you know, for the most part. I see, because, you know, in order to maintain those riches, hey, those you know, wealthy people and whatnot, those in the rich category, they're going to want to maintain that bag. They're going to want to maintain what they got. So without question, they're going to take that MOTB. They're going to take that Revelation 13, 16, and 17. You know? Just to maintain what they got. Just to maintain that their comfort. Right? But for the poor, to all those that fall into the category of the poor, hey, Esau, he's going to feed off that. Right? So going to Psalm chapter 10, verse 2. The wickedness pride persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. Now, ultimately, this is talking about the Israelites, all right? Because we don't have no standing army. We don't have no place that we call home, all right? Well, we do, but, you know, we're currently in exile. I read that earlier in Isaiah 51, how the captive exiled, right? We're in exile right now. So technically, we do have a homeland, but we're in exile right now, all right? And Africa's not our homeland, man, you know? And those Africans, they're not our people. All right, the hell with them. Hell, even this guy, Nelson Mandela, acknowledged the fact that we're not the same people. You know, so the hell with those Africans, all right, and the hell with Africa. But it says, the wicked in his pride doeth persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. Because again, Esau, he's going to take advantage of the poor, man. He's going to take that's what Esau does. He takes advantage of the needy. Like I mentioned earlier, how, hey, you know, this pit, this system, it's a pit. It was designed to keep you down, man. You know, it was designed to keep us down. You see, and make Esau more rich. You see, we work, our people, man, work. Well, I'll just say in generally speaking, all those that fall into the category of the poor, all right, you know, all work to further Esau's kingdom, all right, to further his enterprise. We work, we bust our ass, right, to further, you know, keep Esau's kingdom up and running, to further, we work to make sure that their kids don't have to work, man. And so that their kids can go to the best schools, right? Live in the suburbs, right? That's why we work. All right, and that's how it goes, man. You know, we're tributaries unto Esau Edom. All right, we're tributaries unto him. You see? But it says, for the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire and blesseth the covetous, whom the Lord abhorreth. The wicked through the pride of his countenance will not seek after the Most High. The Most High is not in all his thoughts. His ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them. Right? Hey, like I said, his ways are always grievous. You know? Getting taxed to death. Right? Like I said, hey, he's setting it up to where it's getting impossible to live, man. Here it is, where we're in this stagflationary period, if I said that right, where, you know, our paychecks are looking the same, right? But the prices of everything's going up. You know, everything's going up. But yet our paychecks are staying the same. Right? Hell, if he was just, right, then hey, you know, what's inflation? The inflation, just because I don't know where it's at right now, but let's just say it's at 9%, right? Let's just say inflation is at 9% right now. You know, and they give you a 2% increase on your paychecks. That doesn't do much. You know, that doesn't do much. That doesn't help much. If Esau was just, if you have 9%, if the inflation rate is at 9%, then hey, you know, they should give us at least an 18% raise on our paychecks, just so we can be able to sustain, so that we should be able to sustain ourselves, man. You know, it should be able to outdo the inflation rate, you know, and the price of everything going up. Well, that's if Esau was a just man. That's if he was just, you know, but he's not a just man. He feeds off the poor, all right? He preys off the poor, all right? That's why, like I said, his ways are always grievous, man. His ways are grievous, always grievous. Because, hey, Esau, he's not good. Hey, brothers bring this out almost every week now, man, about how, hey, Esau, he's a nigger at his own table. He's not even looking after his own people. There shouldn't be no so-called homeless white people out here, man. How the hell are you a homeless so-called white person in your own kingdom? You know, in your own kingdom, and you're a triple-time loser. You know, because they had their chance during the Greeks, the Romans, all right, and you know, through America, man, this is where they were able to perfect their blessing. You know, and this man, he's still a 3-time loser. How does that work? So you see, Esau, he's not even looking after his own people. So what makes you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians think that, you know, it's all forgive and forget. Let's just forget about slavery. Let's just bygones be bygones. Let's move to the, you know, nah, man. You know, because, hey, these people, they have hell to pay. Here it is, we pay for our sins. We pay for our crimes against Yahweh Shema Shai. Why does Esau think that he could just ride off into the sunset? No, man. He's got to pay for what he did, man. You know, he's got to pay for what he did. But the point was in verse 2, Psalm 10 and 2, the wicked in his pride do persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. All right? Because again, ultimately, it's talking about the poor, talking about Israelites. All right? Because again, we don't have no standing army. We don't have no one fighting for us at these UN meetings, at these G7 summits and stuff like that. We don't have no one standing up on our behalf. We don't have nothing. Right? You know, but applying this in a sense in general, because again, when it comes down to it, hey, Esau, he's going to feed off the people's poor. He's going to feed off the needy. He's going to create the situation to where everyone's so desperate. Because like I said, ever since this crisis started back in 2020, all right, there's been an attack on the middle class. All right, with these banking collapses, all right, it's even more of an attack. Because again, you know, Esau, part of his plan is to completely do away with the middle class. So you're either going to fall into the category of the rich or the poor. And like I said, for the most part, the rich, they're going to take that MOTB to maintain their lifestyle, to maintain that bag, to maintain that level of comfort, whatever they've got. They're going to take that MOTB. And for the poor, all those outside of the elect, hey, Esau, he's going to feed off that. All right? You know, he's going to back everyone into a corner, and it's going to get to a point where the people are going to react a certain way, and he's going to come out with the solution. And ultimately, the end game is going to be that MOTB, that Revelation 13, 16, and 17. That's his end game. All right, so this is what, you know, if you're paying attention, all these series of events, all right, again, the stage is being set. Problem, reaction, solution. All right? Problem, reaction, solution. You see? And it's all strategically set up by Yahweh Bashim Shai, all right, to fulfill his will. All right? You know, but hey, I'm going to go ahead and end it off there. Lord willing, this is edifying. Giving all praise to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. A double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Yahweh Bashim Shai brought a thumb to you, hopefully elect. Lord willing, until next time, Shalom.